Hello and welcome to Have I Got News for Boris. I'm Jack D. As his first premiership draws to a close, Boris Johnson is criticised for going on holiday yet again, but promises aides he'll keep a low profile in Greece. At his first medical checkup since leaving office, Boris Johnson regrets blocking public sector pay rises as his GP prepares him for a suppository. Team tonight is a comedian brought up in Malaysia who says he has fond memories of his mum coming back from England with tapes of Have I Got News for You. It's a lovely story, but technically a breach of copyright, so our lawyers will be in touch. Please welcome Phil Wang. And on Paul's team tonight is a broadcaster and journalist who once complained of a terminal blight in the British TV industry being the 4 M's: male, middle class, middle-aged and mediocre. Well, she's hit the jackpot tonight. Please welcome Janet Street Porter. Tonight we whiff-waff goodbye to Boris Johnson and look back at his life and career as a father, husband, journalist, Mayor of London, husband, Foreign Secretary, father, Prime Minister, father, husband and father. What will you all miss most of all about Boris, the Prime Minister? Ian?
I suppose I'll really miss being able to say this will end badly. Because it did.
It did, yeah.
And I suppose I'll miss his use of language. Tonight, I'm wearing a tie with balloons on it, but it's not a party. This is a work event for me.
Janet?
You say, what are we going to miss about him, but how do we know he's not going to be back?
I think you know something we might not know, Janet. Maybe we'll find out later.
I just look at the opinion polls,
Yeah.
and 43% of the Tory members at the moment would rather have Boris back than either of the other two.
Yeah, but that's because Matron's just gone round with coffee. Trying to wake him up a bit. Who do you want to be Prime Minister here? It's nice, Mr. Disraeli.
This show, by the way, has been billed by the BBC as a tribute.
Tribute? Funny way to spell good riddance.
Well, I hope he's going to be balanced.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, if it isn't balanced, I'm going to flounce off and join a podcast.
I'd like to see Ian flounce. Do you do a good flounce? Very good. Better than I thought it would be, actually.
Yeah. As this is a special edition of Have I Got News for You, we're going to start the show with the odd one out round, partly in the hope that it might not get junked as it usually does. So just one between you this week, and your 4 are Darius Guppy, Pop, Painting and Janet Street Porter.
That is Darius Guppy, who went to jail. He was a fraudster. And the first time Boris appeared on this show, we made reference to a tape of Boris Johnson and Darius Guppy conspiring to inflict harm on a journalist who'd found out that this man was a fraudster. And Boris was incredibly embarrassed and pretended he hadn't done it. I mean, who would have known what would happen?
Have I mispronounced his name? I call him Darius Guppy, is that what?
Well, we're just common.
No, speak for yourself.
I think...
By the way, Ian hasn't answered the question. Have you not spotted that?
Look, this is the Boris Johnson show. I'm not going to answer any question. Give us a clue, then.
I'll give you more than a clue, I'll give you the answer. They're all topics of discussion, and the first 2 times that Boris Johnson appeared on Have I Got News for You, apart from Janet Street Porter, who was there on both occasions discussing them. Janet, did you see it all coming when you were working with Boris on that occasion?
I mean, I'd met him before that. He came round to my house to be interviewed by me, and he didn't answer a single question then. And when I asked him if he'd taken cocaine, he went, I'm not answering that, I'm not answering that.
If the question is, have you taken cocaine? And the answer is, I'm not answering that. Clearly, the answer is they did.
Unless they worded it make them look lame.
Why was Boris unhappy to see Darius Guppy discussed on the show?
Well, because there was evidence in this tape recording that he'd basically conspired to inflict harm on a journalist who was trying to turn up a story.
We can remind ourselves of that moment, actually. Should we watch it?
Oh, God.
What were you recorded saying?
Honestly, I don't remember.
I do. Boris was on tape talking to Darius Guppy. His
A very great man. I don't want to be totally stitched up here.
What you want and what you don't want.
And one of the ways it went wrong is ringing you up on tape and suggesting that you help him beat up a journalist who was looking into him.
That did come up. I've been totally stitched up. I want it on the record. I've walked straight into a massive elephant trap. I should have spotted it.
Well, after that embarrassment, Boris wrote a piece in the Telegraph attacking the show and claiming that it was all scripted, which, of course, is categorically... Sorry, I'll just read that again. Categorically not the case. Who or what is POP at Eton?
It's a society at Eton, and they vote for a very small group of people to belong to this thing, and it means they can wear a waistcoat.
Yes, more or less.
And then they can join the cabinet.
You're actually, it's an elite institution within the otherwise egalitarian paradise of Eton College. Here's Boris getting uncomfortable with POP being brought up in the show.
The answer is they're all poppers, the name of an elite society at Eton, except for James Bond, who was kicked out of Eton, in fact, after only 2 terms.
I've never heard of this, POP. What does POP stand for?
Oh,
What does POP stand for?
Oh, no, oh, no.
What are you doing under the table, Boris? You're not going to pop now, are you? It looks like I'm wearing a wig then.
I look like Angus Deaton, don't I? According to one source, historically, only members of POP were entitled to furl their umbrellas. No, you may scoff but such traditions, but it does prepare a gentleman for the essential life skills of umbrella stewardship. Finally, painting. Janet, you asked Boris about what sort of art he had on his walls, and he replied that he painted his own, I believe.
Yes, he said he was good at watercolours, didn't he?
That was 1999,
Yeah.
but he was still at it 20 years later. Should we have a look at what he's been doing recently?
What do you do to relax? What do you do to switch off?
I like to paint, or I make things. I like to...
What do you make?
I have a thing where I make models of... when I was in London, Mayor of London, we built a beautiful... I make buses.
This says a lot for the educational qualities of Eton, doesn't it?
There was a rumour, Ian, that the Tory strategist Linton Crosby suggested that Boris reveal this slightly crackpot aspect of his character in order to get the media to report it, so that when people Googled Boris and bust, this was the story that would come up and not the Brexit bust, £350 million Spain, just to see. And obviously that worked, because no one talks about that anymore, do they?
No, it's not the first bus you think of with him. You think of the one under which he threw everyone else in the car.
So, Ian and Paul, you must have been delighted that your master plan to make Boris a celebrity succeeded.
Yes, I thought proving that he couldn't even run a panel show would immediately mean that people would say he should run the country. And so it happened just like that.
I'm only here because I want to be Home Secretary in 5 years.
It made sense for Boris to come on this panel show, because he could have done Would I Lie to You, but you occasionally have to tell the truth on that. We've seen him go from landslide election victory to resignation in less than 3 years. But who's responsible for the downfall of Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson? Fingers on buzzers. Paul and Janet.
Well, I think this programme has hit a new low where on a show dedicated to Boris Johnson, you're showing us a picture of Boris Johnson and asking us to identify who it is.
I thought we'd start with the easy ones.
Is it George Formby? Boris Johnson, yes, it's Boris Johnson. Is he responsible for his downfall? Well, I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. How did Boris initially respond to being told to go?
I'm not going.
According to The Times, he told Tory MPs, fuck that. Continuing, I'm the leader that won you fuckers your elections. Which is a fair comment.
Well, to be fair to him, fuck that is just his normal internal monologue anyway.
Kind of is, yeah.
I might have slipped out.
Weren't they a boy band in the 90s?
Who or what did Boris blame for his demise? In his resignation speech, specifically?
The herd.
Yes, he pointedly said that his departure was the will of the Conservative Parliamentary Party. So there must have been uproar amongst voters across the country. Should we see some of them?
Yes.
Talk about politics.
You don't look too sad.
Exactly. Didn't even know he resigned. I've just finished work, so... Well, that's a bit of good news for the day, I suppose, isn't it?
Just wondering what you think about Boris Johnson resigning today.
I want him to go. He's a pain in the arse.
That man should be given his own sitcom.
Yeah, he should. Although, according to one poll, 40% of party members now say they want him back.
There's a lot of short-term memory loss amongst older people.
Don't look at me while you're saying that.
No. I mean, 50 people, 50 ministers resigned in 24 hours. It's never happened in history. He resigned because he was unfit for office. That's it. That's the story.
Wasn't the trigger Chris Pincher, the MP that he appointed Deputy Chief Whip?
That's interesting, because he might come up, I can't promise, but Chris Pincher as a subject might... Let's have another spin of the randomiser and just see who comes up next. Let's have a look.
Hey! There he is.
Yeah, he's alleged to have groped 2 men in the Undercroft.
In the where?
Yeah. Oh, no.
That's near Marylebone Station, isn't it?
It was actually in an area of the Carlton Club called Cad's Corner.
Boris Johnson's known to have joked, pincher by name, pincher by nature.
What a brilliant quip that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone who gets his dick out too much, he's Johnson by name, Johnson by nature. He obviously...
Well, back to the randomiser.
Yes.
Who is this, and how did they bring down Boris?
Oh, it's Michael Gove.
Just after nearly everybody else in the entire government had resigned, Michael Gove rang him up and said, I think perhaps you should go. And Johnson said, you're fired. It was a last petty act of revenge between 2 old colleagues who've worked so hard to bring the country to where it is today.
Well, according to The Sun, you are right. It was Michael Gove who first told Johnson to quit on that fateful Wednesday, giving him an ultimatum to resign by 9 p.m, leading to Boris sacking Gove at 8:59 p.m. Which is a horrible thing to do, until you remember it was Michael Gove who did it too. In the end, over 50 resignations took place over 2 days. Business Secretary Kwasi Kwarteng, desperate to get in on the action at number 10, but stranded in Middlesbrough, phoned in from the car park at Toby Carvery. Toby Carvery, of course, was briefly Education Minister. Johnson's resignation as Tory party leader. Just after Boris Johnson resigned, The Times reported one cabinet minister referred to him as a cosmic cunt.
The word tribute has disappeared from this programme.
To be fair, it's always hard to know what to write in a leaving card. Since announcing his resignation, it's not gone unnoticed that Boris hasn't been working that hard. Here's the Metro. So the next round is what I did on my holidays. I did get a few postcards from Boris. See if you can guess where he's been. Here's the first one.
Ooh.
Slovenia.
Yes, quite right.
This is
well
his
done.
eco honeymoon.
Has he just drowned his wife? What's going on? What's going on there? What's he pushing down with the oar?
Who knows? This is Boris on holiday in Slovenia, according to the owner of the Villa Planinka Eco Hotel he stayed in. What bit of the trip excited Boris the most?
When she sank like a stone?
Yeah. Boris was excited by the Slovenian food. which, according to the Telegraph, included being served with bare cheeks. Although Boris was disappointed to find the spelling on the menu was correct. How did Boris respond to criticism of the timing of his holiday?
I'm cosmic.
No. He went on another holiday when he got back. He went off to Greece, leading to this hashtag trending on Twitter. Hashtag get back to work, you fat ponce. I had no idea the Archbishop of Canterbury had a Twitter account, actually. We've got a photo of Boris on the beach waiting for Carrie to put on his armbands. Yeah.
It's like Mamma Mia, isn't it? Yeah.
Also, this part of the world left out a warm welcome sign for Boris. Here it is. Boris D. Johnson is bastard. I didn't know the Archbishop of Canterbury had a villa. Time for another holiday snap.
Yes.
What is Boris doing here?
Oh, this is when he went on a little joyride in a fighter jet.
We've actually got some video of it.
Lovely.
And just to be clear, it was a fan that added the music, not us.
Is that just a BA flight? He's flying.
I thought these slightly rubbish fighter jets having to be towed like that.
He insisted that instead of leaving when he lost the job, he said, I have to stay on as caretaker because the country needs me for the next 3 months. And he did absolutely bugger all.
Yeah.
For 3 months, he went on holiday.
Yeah.
This government's been described as a zombie government, which I think is unfair because zombies value brains. So it doesn't really...
There's some more fun military activities were arranged for Boris recently. He went on manoeuvres with some Ukrainian forces.
What we're going to do now is...
It's going well.
It just looks like one of the soldiers brought his nan along.
Say what you like about Boris, they love him in Ukraine, don't they?
Yeah.
They love him. He's a hero there. That's one bit of his legacy that we can't really argue with. Boris...
We'll have a go if you like.
Yeah, I'm sure. Boris likes going on exercises. Do you remember this photo of him on a police raid?
He's got police on himself 3 times,
Yeah.
as if he's not sure what... You know.
Hello, hello, hello.
Which of his best skills can Boris draw on for work now that he's leaving office?
Well, he will go back to journalism, won't he?
Yep, he probably will do. He can go back to earning money from a second job as journalist and writer. But here he is discussing William Hague's earnings from second jobs on this show.
According to the Register of Members' Interest, William is top of the league table of cash in terms of money earned through work which is dependent on their status as an MP. Who are the top 3?
Him, Anne Widdecombe,
Yep,
George Galloway,
correct.
and then you're fourth, aren't you?
While we're on the subject of Boris's, what has Mikhail Gorbachev done this week that Boris Yeltsin did in 2007?
He died.
He did, sadly, he died, yeah. Of course, Gorbachev only became leader of the Soviet Union following a successful stint hosting Have I Got News for You?
He was very good.
Yeah.
OK, well, here's a fun challenge for you. I'm going to read you a number of statements made by Boris Johnson, and all you've got to do is shout out whether they are true or false. So here we go. Here's the first one. This government is building a record number of hospitals, a total of 48 across the country.
True. Well, it's true he said it, but false that it's going to happen. So which one do you want?
It was false. It was obviously false what he said. We had a system of testing people going into care homes.
False. I can see the trend. I can see the way this is going.
Yeah, you nailed that one. Here's another one. I always take responsibility for everything. Who asked you to join in?
No, I think they should. I think they should join in.
It's not a democracy, you know.
see where the coach party's sitting now. Right, well, I think we've all got the hang of this, haven't we? I think so let's see if you can find more people Boris Johnson has lied to, offended or otherwise screwed over in a special game I've devised called Boris Battleships. Yes. Ian, why don't you start the fun? Can you pick a square, please?
That's putting a lot of pressure on Ian, isn't it? Asking him to start the fun. It's implied that we've had none so far.
I'm going to pick E3.
B6, you say? There you go. It's a hit. Michael Howard, what did Boris do to him? Lied to, offended, or otherwise screwed over?
He lied to him.
Yeah.
He said, are you having an affair with this woman? Petronella Wyatt?
Yes.
I seem to remember. So he lied to the leader of his own party.
Johnson denied the rumours, calling them an inverted pyramid of piffle before they turned out to be a very upright tower of truth. Journalists were quick to pounce on Johnson. Let's have a look at him returning from a morning run after the scandal broke.
Top man.
Boris, have you got anything to say today?
Yes. I advise you all very strongly. Go for a run. Get some exercise.
Did you mislead Mr. Howard?
Have a beautiful day.
Did you mislead Mr. Howard?
I have absolutely no comment. No, I didn't, no.
Are you going to see if you're married? Boris, are you going to see if you're married, do you think?
I'm going to do whatever I can to say, oh God, they've locked me out.
Well, time to pick another square. Paul, over to you.
C7.
F9, you say?
Yeah.
There's another hit. Obviously, the Queen. Was she lied to, offended, or otherwise screwed over by Boris?
Yeah, he lied to her.
He did, yeah. This is the Supreme Court ruling that Boris Johnson unlawfully advised the Queen to prorogue Parliament. What did Boris lose out on by lying to the Queen?
Christmas present from her.
He's probably lost out on receiving the Order of the Garter. Order of the Garter comes from the 14th century, when in the court of Edward III, the Countess of Salisbury's garter fell to the floor while she was dancing, and when the courtiers sniggered, the king picked it up and gave it to her, saying, "On y soit qui mal y pense," which is French for, "Here, you drop this." Rather lovely story. Janet, your turn to pick a square.
G5.
Yes, good one.
Oh, no, it's a miss. It's a bit... Have another go.
All right, B10.
B10.
Oh,
Oh, no. Bad luck, another miss. Not as easy as it looks, is it?
no.
Back to you, Ian, now using all your strategic skills. It's only Janet who's let us down so far. Can you pick another square?
I10.
L5, you say? Let's have a look.
There isn't an L there.
Yes.
That's a hit. What did Boris Johnson claim about Italian men while he was Brussels correspondent to the Telegraph in '91? He wrote that the Italian government had requested condoms be made smaller, thus implying Italian men did not measure up to the rest of the continent. One former EU chief recently reiterated to The Guardian that the 3-decade-old story was a load of bullshit, and...
I hope that noise was you clapping.
Obviously, we thought it would be appropriate to feature Boris Johnson in the missing words round, given that for the last 2 months he has been missing. These are all the things Boris Johnson has actually said. And we'll start with my what was criticised by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Foreplay.
Was it his accent?
Speaking style. My
Yes.
speaking style was criticised by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Because that was the last thing Boris said.
Yeah.
Was hasta la vista, baby. It was a strange goodbye, wasn't it?
Better than I'll be back. Next, people shouldn't be so snooty about Channel 5. They what?
They should be snooty about everything.
People shouldn't be so snooty about Channel 5. They devote considerable time to investigations about lap dancing. Not lap dancing, it's how many people get into show business. Isn't that right, Phil?
Good to see you again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Finally, the one thing I object to in this whole farrago of nonsense is what?
Nigel Farage got a word named after him.
The one thing I object to in this whole farrago of nonsense is that I love John Lewis. This refers to Theresa May's John Lewis decor in the Prime Minister's flat, which the Johnsons replaced with gold wallpaper. Now, with Liz Truss moving in, Downing Street is believed to be getting quotes for padded wallpaper. So, the final scores are Ian and Phil have 6, and Paul and Janet have 9.
Oh, well done.
Well done.
We lived over the finish line.
Yeah.
But before we go, there's just time for the caption competition.
You're a barefaced liar.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think he has my nose.
And I leave you with news that covering a story at an art gallery, it takes every last bit of self-restraint for one reporter not to use the caption, "4 enormous arses." In his last days at Downing Street, a junior researcher proves to be just too quick for the Prime Minister. And after discovering yet another marital indiscretion, Carrie Johnson finds a creative new way to leave her husband's clothes in the front garden. Well, that's the end of this special tribute. And, you know, whatever people think about the role this show played in Boris Johnson's rise to power, at least they can't accuse it of having an unhealthy obsession with his successor.
In December, I'll be in Beijing, opening up new pork markets.
It feels divine. Footsteps echo yours and mine. In the night, our souls align. What the night knows, nobody sees. Dancing close with the midnight breeze. What the night shows is just you and me in the starlight. We are free. Every glance shares a secret. In your eyes, the world's my duet. Hushed confessions, never regret. Moments captured like vignettes. Shadows play a lover's game. Hearts
Just sniggered. The king picked it up and gave it to her, saying, "On y soit qui mal y pense," which is French for, "Here, you drop this." Rather lovely story. Janet, your turn to pick a square.
G5.
Yes, good one.
Oh, no, it's a miss. It's a bit... have another go.
Oh. All right, B10.
B10.
Oh.
Oh, no. Bad luck, another miss. Not as easy as it looks, is it?
No.
Back to you, Ian, now using all your strategic skills. It's only Janet who's let us down so far. Can you pick another square?
I-10.
L5, you say? Let's have a look.
There isn't an L there.
Yes.
Yes. That's a hit. What did Boris Johnson claim about Italian men while he was Brussels correspondent to the Telegraph in '91? He wrote that the Italian government had requested condoms be made smaller, thus implying Italian men did not measure up to the rest of the continent. One former EU chief recently reiterated to The Guardian that the 3-decade-old story was a load of bullshit and...
I hope that noise was you clapping.
Obviously, we thought it would be appropriate to feature Boris Johnson in the missing words round, given that for the last 2 months he has been missing. These are all the things Boris Johnson has actually said. And we'll start with what was criticised by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Foreplay.
Was it his accent?
Speaking style. My speaking style was criticised by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Because that was the last thing Boris said.
Yeah.
Was hasta la vista, baby. It was a strange goodbye, wasn't it?
Better than I'll be back. Next, people shouldn't be so snooty about Channel 5. They what?
They should be snooty about everything.
People shouldn't be so snooty about Channel 5. They devote considerable time to investigations about lap dancing. Don't knock lap dancing. It's how many people get into show business. Isn't that right, Phil?
Good to see you again.
Yeah. Yeah. Finally, the one thing I object to in this whole farrago of nonsense is what?
Nigel Farage got a word named after him.
The one thing I object to in this whole farrago of nonsense is that I love John Lewis. This refers to Theresa May's John Lewis decor in the Prime Minister's flat, which the Johnsons replaced with gold wallpaper. Now, with Liz Truss moving in, Downing Street is believed to be getting quotes for padded wallpaper. So, the final scores are Ian and Phil have 6 and Paul and Janet have 9.
Oh, well done.
Well done.
We lived over the finish line.
Yeah.
But before we go, there's just time for the caption competition.
You're a barefaced liar.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think he has my nose.
And I leave you with news that covering a story at an art gallery, it takes every last bit of self-restraint for one reporter not to use the caption, 4 enormous arses. In his last days at Downing Street, a junior researcher proves to be just too quick for the Prime Minister. And after discovering yet another marital indiscretion, Carrie Johnson finds a creative new way to leave her husband's clothes in the front garden. Well, that's the end of this special tribute. And, you know, whatever people think about the role this show played in Boris Johnson's rise to power, at least they can't accuse it of having an unhealthy obsession with his successor.
In December, I'll be in Beijing, opening up new pork